I'm getting pushback from people who don't want to affirm the great controversy. I'm not asking you to affirm every Adventist theological position, although you should because they're right. I mean, like if you don't want to be associated with the idea that the Sabbath is part of the Ten Commandments, I guess you want to affirm sinning. If you don't want to affirm, if you want to affirm that God tortures people forever in hell, I think you're a pervert, to be honest. I mean, I think you're confused, if you really understand what the Bible's teaching. I think I'm not saying you're not a Christian, but to affirm the great controversy means there is a controversy between good and evil. Is it saying that Satan is an equal power to God? No, that is a very ridiculous claim to say that's the point of the theodicy. Essentially, if you disagree with Calvinism that God determines evil, then God permits evil, and God is not the origin of evil. This is a classic Christian concept. In some way, there's a controversy between good and evil. That it seems like every Christian has to affirm this. Or I don't know what salvation is for exactly, or from, which is why I so passionately argue regarding what the law is a foundational fact of the Christian narrative, the biblical narrative. There's this thing called the good God. Men go their own way and don't live up to being image bearers. God is long-suffering and merciful. There is an evil force opposing God in the spiritual realm, and it manifests in the creation. And God offers a way of escape from sin leading to death. God is not determining the evil. He's redeeming it. There is a force that opposes God that God did not originate. He originated the being corrupted itself. That caused the fall. The fall is what we're being redeemed from. God is good. A force that God permits opposes God. God offers a way of escape. That's the great controversy. To me, there is no other theodicy that's biblical. Unless you have a yin-yang God that needs evil. There is a force that opposes God that God permits to exist, and there's some reason he allows it, and he's actually redeeming people from the wages of sin by condemning sin in the flesh. Why does God permit evil? Because it's clearly evident that he does. Now, you can answer that two ways. There is a force that God permits to exist that he's redeeming us from, or God determined that evil, and it's part of his desire to have sin. Does God desire sin? That's a huge question. Why do good things happen to bad, or why do bad things happen to good people, quote unquote? Why does a good God permit evil? That is the question of what theodicies exist to explain. The great controversy is the only theodicy that makes any biblical sense. Changed my mind. I'll have an open discussion. Come tell me why the great controversy between good and evil isn't true. And I'll tell you why you're a heretic. Kidding.